Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
We have two of the most complicated properties. I'm not saying IP. Superman and Fantastic Four are two of the most complicated items a film studio can put on their slate. When let's just talk about Fantastic Four first, real quick. When Disney bought, when Bob Iger made that deal to buy Fox, a lot of people dismiss how good of a deal maker Bob Iger is. So he gets this deal done. It's like the impossible, and the rights of Fantastic Four were with Fox for quite some time, but Fox pretty much stopped production, right? And I believe the Daredevil rights of the Fantastic Four rights floated back to Marvel, and then this deal happens, and then Disney was going to get the rest of these Marvel rights. So it was like everything but Spider-Man was going to be under the Disney banner. That means we could get this giant, complete Marvel Cinematic Universe. So year one passes by, year two passes by, year three passed by. And we always hear the entire time Fantastic Four rumors. And people, I think, pretended to want this movie to happen. Isn't that crazy? And they kind of create this blanket across the internet where it analytically looks favorable for them to push through a Fantastic Four movie. But what the analytics don't tell you, and when you read the gospel, when you know the text, you know the words, you know the pictures, you've seen it all, you've read it all, you got more in your head about Fantastic Four than you ever cared to think about. The Fantastic Four is a unadaptable idea to do it properly. Now, some people might say this current position about Fantastic Four, right? It takes place in the 60s, and this is the Fantastic Four we want. I mean, getting a Fantastic Four in the 60s is pretty cool, but this is still like an alternate world, an alternate universe. It's not in the continuity that we wanted in. So it's yet another solo, independent Fantastic Four movie, and therein lies the struggle. To contrast that, Superman has a Clark Kent problem. See, it's not the trunks. It's not that he's an alien, an alien sent from Krypton. It's not that he's all powerful. It's not that he can reverse time or spin back the globe or anything, right? It's not his insane power set. Superman has a Clark Kent problem. And that's about it for him. But you can do anything you want with that character, and we've seen Superman a full range of success in every media, everything he touches. I think the Last Frontier, which is a little bit crazy, I don't think there's a standout Superman video game, right? I think that's of note. But everything else, the Man of Steel has conquered, and in contrast, everything else that Fantastic Four has touched, it's stumbled. So coming up on this podcast is, starting in July, it's going to be Fantastic Four month. It's going to be Superman month. These two properties, these two intellectual properties, these two franchises, they both got two giant, immensely important movies releasing. And I think as a comic book fan, this is one of the most significant months in comic book history. we're going to delve into and analyze why Fantastic Four doesn't quite play out in live action, in animation, so on and so forth. In contrast, we're going to celebrate the Man of Steel and Superman, because there's so much out there that's good and great about him. The Clark Kent problem is simple, and maybe this will be a subject of another upcoming episode. I think with this new movie, they had an opportunity to take the Clark Kent out of the character and just go straight Superman. I think that's the only way you solve the Clark Kent problem. Clark Kent is, I think, tough for the general audience at this point to grasp. Unless you have a really, really good explanation, something, it doesn't have to be logical, but it needs to be a decent explanation within the context of the movie to explain the existence of Clark Kent. With all of that, AKAPADers, just be ready, be on the lookout. We're going to do what we do here between this podcast and YouTube. It's going to be Superman Fantastic Four month. I love you. Rock and roll.
Okay, that's a wrap.